I did a video on Eli Lilly a few weeks ago, and I told you guys Lilly is an amazing buy at $670 per share. And I told you that I'm even interested in buying it at this level. Well, now Lilly is trading at $640 per share. It's down 17%, it's actually down 14% over the last few days after reporting earnings. So I'm going to tell you if I did buy the dip on Lilly or not, if I believe it's an amazing buy, and review the earnings report and give you my opinion, give you my fair value, and let you know my thoughts in general. So I hope you enjoy it as always. Now for the report, it was actually amazing with Lilly. They got $6.31 versus $5.57 expected. They pretty much killed the earnings per share estimate. Same thing with revenues, 15.5 billion versus 14.7 expected. Just amazing stuff. Second quarter revenue grew 38% year on year. 38% growth. This is insane. Not many, a couple $100 billion pharmaceutical companies are growing 38% in revenues. Eli Lilly is really a special one. It's really different, I believe, from most pharmaceutical stocks. It's one of the best of all time. They're very innovative, very good management team, and it's mostly in the United States. Although they're going to face some tariff problems and some pricing problems, which I'm going to talk about later in the video. But if you look at their sales in general, in terms of the Mounjaro sales, it grew $2.1 billion. So it was a massive increase in sales. The Zepbound sales grew $2.1 billion also. So everything is just going into the right direction. Everything is getting better. They even raised guidance on revenues, and they also raised guidance on earnings per share by $2. So the report couldn't be better. They destroyed the estimates. Eli Lilly is better than ever, growing revenue 38%. So the question is, why is the stock going down? And the answer is mainly because of their oral GLP-1 pill that they are working on. And I told you guys, the oral GLP-1 pill is going to be a major catalyst for Eli Lilly. Now, I made a mistake in my last video, and I told you guys that NVO doesn't have an oral GLP-1 pill, and I was actually wrong about that. They do have one, I believe, for diabetes, but it's not approved yet for weight loss. But Lilly is working on their weight loss approved pill, and it's still in the trial phase, and the trial was a little bit disappointing. Now, the oral GLP-1 pill is going to be a game changer because many people have skipped taking GLP-1s altogether because they're scared or they're afraid from needles. You just injecting a needle or something in your body, it's scary. But if you're taking a pill, this is a game changer. The growth is going to be insane. So on Thursday, they said that the highest dose of the daily obesity pill helped patients lose almost 12% of their body weight, or roughly 27 pounds. Now, this is really not bad at all if you look at it, but Wall Street and some doctors, they were expecting 15%. Lilly got 12%, so they missed it by 3%. It was a disappointment for Wall Street, and the stock sold off 14%. Some doctors said that the results appear to be comparable to, but overall slightly lower to the level of weight loss seen with NVO's blockbuster weekly GLP-1 injection for obesity, which is Wegovy. So Wegovy is still much higher than this pill, or is even very close to it, and that's why NVO was up 7% on the day and Lilly went down 14% on the day. Now, some doctors also noted that there was a number of patients on the highest dose of the pill who discontinued the treatment because of side effects. So the highest dose had a lot of side effects, and it caused people to discontinue the trial. And that also scared Wall Street a little bit, and the stock went down 14 or 15%. And those oral GLP-1s, they have a lot of side effects. I believe Pfizer had a fatal case in their trial, and they discontinued the pill altogether. So this is a tricky one, but Lilly has been doing well so far in terms of the pill, and they expect to submit it to the regulators by the end of the year, and they hope to launch the pill worldwide around this time next year. So it's coming in next year, and it's going to kick in a new phase of growth for a company like Eli Lilly, and it's very exciting. Now, the problem with Eli Lilly and most of those companies, they're all growing, they're all doing well, but we don't know how the future is going to look like, because the president sent a letter to Eli Lilly and other companies last week calling on them to step to take steps to lower drug prices by September 29, and he's pretty much trying to match the prices in the United States with the same prices outside the United States. Now, if that happens, that's going to kill the margins of all those pharmaceutical companies, because most of their sales, NVO is a EU company, most of NVO's sales is in the United States, and NVO has high margins because they sell them in the United States at much higher prices than they sell them in the EU. Now, if the president can potentially match the prices of EU and the United States, it's going to kill their margins. We're talking about potentially 20, 30, 40% cuts in margins. It could be detrimental to all those stocks. And this is the biggest tail risk, that we don't know how that's going to play out. We don't know what kind of power he has in his executive orders. People say it's not too much. He can't really do a lot, and he's just trying to apply pressures. But we'll see what happens. But it could be something detrimental. And this is the biggest risk to Eli Lilly, NVO, and a lot of those companies. But the multiple on Eli Lilly has corrected a lot. The stock we used to trade at 70, 72 times forward earnings. Now it's trading at 25 times forward earnings, much, much better. If it goes back, 2021, it's even better. But 25 times forward earnings for an amazing company like Eli Lilly that's growing earnings around 102% in 2024. 2025 is expected to be 43%, 2026 37, 2027 23. So you're paying less than 1 times price to earnings per share growth. If nothing happens with President Trump's executive orders or nothing crazy, and they keep growing on those numbers due to the oral GLP-1s being a success and everything was fine, Eli Lilly is a steal at those prices. It's absolutely a steal. But I did run my own model, and I did use the analyst estimate of 37% for 2026. And after that, this is what I did. I used 37% for 2026. Then I used 20%, 20%, and I assumed a deceleration in revenue growth to 15%, 15%. I think this is fair. The current PE is 25. I used 25 PE, even though the mean PE is 29, and it could potentially go back to the mean PE, or I should say the average PE of 29.5, but I still used 25 times earnings. So assuming no multiple expansion, no multiple contraction, and a 1% dividend, I'm seeing 129% upside on Eli Lilly, or $1,434 per share, or around an 18.5% CAGR over the next 5 years. This is an amazing return. Now, if the multiple gets back to 29 times earnings, which is the average, it could go back to 165% upside, or 22% CAGR over the next 5 years. So Eli Lilly, to me, is extremely, extremely attractive. But the biggest tail risk that remains is mainly President Trump's power. What could he do about those pharmaceutical companies? What kind of executive order, what kind of power he has to potentially lower prices or match prices with Europe? If he could potentially do that, it's going to kill the margins of Lilly, it's going to cut their growth in half, and the stock would look overvalued in hindsight. And it would be really bad. But this is an unknown risk, and the stock is looking extremely, extremely attractive. Now, for me personally, I haven't bought Lilly yet. It's still on my watch list, but I also have FICO on my watch list, and I have a few other stocks that I'm watching. And I'm just looking at a lot of my stocks on my watch list, and I'm just trying to determine which one is the better buy. But Lilly is looking good, and I still haven't bought the dip yet. But if I'm looking at it, I think it's presenting a great opportunity. And that's just my opinion on Lilly, not financial advice. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please press the like button and maybe consider subscribing. So I'll talk to you in another video.